Here's my macro Bitcoin forecast. It's 21 years. Goes out to the year 2045. What do I think will happen? Well, I've got a bear case and a bull case, but what I think will happen is that 55% ARR goes to 50%, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. It's between 50 and 20. It'll gradually decelerate till it's growing about twice as fast as the S&P index. And at that rate, Bitcoin's $13 million a coin in the year 2045. 13 million. It could be a 3 million bear case. It could be a 49 million bull case. But what is Bitcoin? 7% of the world's assets then. We're always considering, is it the convertible market? Is it the fixed income market? Is it the equity market we want to go to? And that's going to change from time to time. I expect that mix will shift more heavily toward fixed income markets in Q1 as we go forward, because right now we're probably getting a little bit too delevered, and we'd like to actually get more leverage. We have about $7.2 billion of converts, but 4 billion of them are already essentially equity. They're through the strike price, they're through the call price, and they're trading with a delta approximately 100%. So they're looking like equity. And so we would like to go back and build more intelligent leverage for the benefit of our common stock shareholders. If we look at Bitcoin and model it as digital gold, you know, the market cap goes to between 10 and 20 trillion. But gold is, remember, gold is defective property. Gold is dead money. You have $1 billion of gold that sits in a vault for a decade. It's very hard to mortgage the gold. It's also very hard to rent the gold. You can't loan the gold. No one's going to create a business with your gold. So gold doesn't generate much of a yield. So for that reason, most people wouldn't store $1 billion for a decade in gold. They would buy $1 billion of commercial real estate property. And the reason why is because I can rent it and generate a yield on it that's in excess of the maintenance cost. So if you consider digital property, that's $100 to $200 trillion addressable market. So I would think it goes from 10 trillion to 100 trillion as people start to think of it as digital property.
What does that mean in terms of price per coin?
At 500,000, right? That's a $10 trillion asset. At 5 million, that's a $100 trillion asset.
So you think it crosses $1 million, it can go even higher?
Yeah, I think it keeps going up forever. I mean, there's no reason it couldn't go to 10 million a coin, right? Because digital property isn't the highest form, right? Gold was that low frequency money. Property is a mid frequency money. But when I start to program it faster, it starts to look like digital energy, and then it doesn't just replace property. Then you're starting to replace bonds. It's 100 trillion in bonds. There's 50 to 100 trillion in other currency derivatives. And these are all conventional use cases, right? I think that there's 350 trillion to 500 trillion dollars worth of currency derivatives in the world. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, I mean things that are valued based upon fiat cash flows. Any commercial real estate, any bond, any sovereign debt, any currency itself, any derivatives to those things, they're all derivatives, and they're all defective. And they're all defective because of this persistent 7 to 14% lapse, which we call inflation.
MicroStrategy, it's taking steps to raise potentially $42 billion to buy what else? More Bitcoin. Over the next 3 years, the company plans to raise the money through the sale of new shares and fixed income. MicroStrategy has been steadily stockpiling the cryptocurrency. As of September 30th, it holds more than 250,000 Bitcoins worth more than $18 billion. Now, this is what's called an at-the-market offering. That was the filing, what it filed to do. It doesn't have to sell all those shares. It just means it wants the ability to do so.
Bitcoin is the one network you can't control. Nobody can control Bitcoin. You ever try to carry a gold bar through an airport?
Very heavy.
Try it next time. They won't let you through, right? In fact, if you tried to carry $100,000 of gold through an airport, not only would you not get through, but the assumption would be you're a criminal, you stole the gold, and they would just take it and keep it without a court order. Now, try to carry $100,000 of cash through the airport. You ever try that? You can put it in a bag, and as you're walking through the x-ray machine, just nonchalantly say to the officer, yeah, I'm carrying $100,000 of money onto the airplane. You won't get through. Now, not only will you not get through, they'll just take your money. They'll just take it, and the assumption will be you stole it, okay? So cash is a unit of control. Now, put $100,000 in a bank and try to wire it to someone, or just take it out and they're going to ask you why. Tell them it's none of their business. Try to send it to someone privately to a numbered Swiss bank account, right? See how that works. That won't work. That's a system of control. Bitcoin is the one network you can't control. Nobody can control Bitcoin. So if you're insecure about being able to own your own money, do you own it? And can you actually use it without asking somebody's permission? Then the solution is not gold. It's not silver coins. It's not stacks of cash. It's not money in a bank in the U.S. It's certainly not money in a bank in Lebanon, Argentina, anywhere in Africa. The one network that you have that gives you a decent chance of owning your own money and then being able to spend it the way you want is Bitcoin. Satoshi, many years ago, had this vision for sound money and sovereign money via technology, via modern cryptography, modern semiconductors, the modern internet. And that idea of giving economic power to the individual in the face of the overwhelming power of the collective, when you feel like the government's against you, the banking system against you, the currency is against you, big tech is against you, struggling in the face of overwhelming power, you need some advantage. And Satoshi created this network that's based on two principles. The integrity, we all know, is there'll never be more than 21 million Bitcoin, and that's enforced by millions and millions of computers and hundreds of millions of people everywhere in the world that believe it's not okay to lie, cheat, or steal. It's not okay to distort the truth. There is a truth. There is a universal common ledger that no one can tamper with, no one can corrupt, not a nation state, not a company, not a politician. And that idea of a censorship-resistant, unstoppable version of the truth was a first in human history. It was a first. A decentralized asset is one that is so diffused on so many different computers in the hands of so many people that no one person can change it or corrupt it. Means Bill Gates can't corrupt it. The head of the SEC can't corrupt it. A president of, the head of Russia or the US or the UAE can't corrupt it. No company can corrupt it. If I own $1 billion of it, I can't corrupt it. And so a decentralized asset is like the cold virus.